Hi, welcome to another episode of Crash Cinema. This is your host McKenna. I hope you've been well. Thank you so much for the support, guys. It's been amazing. All the votes, all the words of encouragement, the new followers. Oh my goodness, I have followers from Moldova, from people in Mexico. Hi. I was even seeing there are countries that I can't pronounce. I'll post it on our social media pages just to say thank you and welcome on board. Thank you for finding us in this little space called the podcast, realm. And I hope you enjoy and you share and, interact with us. Thank you also for those who've been reviewing the podcast. Yeah, so you can review the podcast for those who listen on Apple or Spotify. Please, it does a lot for us. So, yeah, just give us the reviews. We're happy. I'm solid. I can take criticism very well, so no problems. If you feel this is not for you or you feel things can be improved, let me know. It's all about building at the end of the day. So today I was discussing, or rather I want to discuss something that I've come to the realization of, and oh my, I don't know how to overcome this. I'm actually a victim. Not a victim in the sense of it's been done to me, but I have done it to myself. And I will explain if you sit and just relax and, let's have this conversation about, it's not our responsibility to cure people. And I don't mean physical illness, because even with physical illness, that's not on you. Even the health issue is doctors and stuff who have to deal with that. So, and ultimately, God is the one who gives us good health. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about emotional stuff. I mean, the traumas people carry. I mean, the bad behavior. And I was reflecting on this because emotional bankruptcy comes when we're trying to cure people, we're trying to fix people, we're trying to solve a situation. And I was actually reflecting on my life because there are certain things I am in the process of changing, and I was wondering, when did I pick up this behavior? When did I, not even behavior, mentality, where I feel like because I can understand someone is this way, I want to help them out and want to solve their issues. No, that's not your job, because that's how you get exasperated. That's how you run out of energy, finances, and all these things. And you'll be left literally on the sidelines alone. These people you're trying to help, they will be just gone in because they're not there for you as a person, for your development. No, they're in your friendship circle, or they're even married to you or in a relationship with you because they spotted from ages ago. They're really, really predatory in their nature, and I don't mean in terms of stalking or anything like that, but they know who to get into cahoots with, because they know what they need. And human beings, I've told you many times before, and I've expressed it on this podcast, we were meant and built for relationships. We were not meant to exist alone. That's why there's companies, there's corporations, there's movements, there's campaigns, there's families, we are meant to work as a unit. That's how we are created, and that's how we are as our species. So I was thinking about this, and I was like, you're only given a certain amount of resources, human resources, and I mean in terms of dealing with everything that's going on for you in your life and in your purpose and in your route. So why are you going to use all these resources on other people who will not even extend an olive branch to you, who will not care, who will not worry if you're sick, and they will not show up if you tell them that you are unwell. They will give all the excuses, but they will show up for other people. But for you, who's there day one or whatever they call you, or if you're in their business circle, but if they can benefit from you, but when you're really, really going through it, they're not there. So I was just discovering it's a pattern I picked up, and it's a pattern I picked up when I was younger, because I am born among boys. I was trying to see what's the word to use there. Crazy. Yeah, so I have four brothers, and in this situation I lived with three of them very closely, and I came to realize, because they would do certain things, they like get into trouble, or they financial situation or whatever, and I'll always, as a sister, try and help them out, be there for them. Literally, I have stories for days. I'll be that grandmother telling people, this is what I did. Anyway, so I think I realized, because I didn't want my brothers to get into trouble with my parents especially, so I would cover up for them. I would, not expose them, and then when the truth is found out, my parents would always ask me, why are you covering for your brothers, why are you doing this? And the answer always I'd give was like, I didn't want them to get into trouble. But in that, it got me into trouble. It got me into a lot of trouble sometimes. It got me into financial constraints sometimes. It got me into a lot of emotional spirals, because I was so hurt by what they were doing. And next week they will do it again, and the week after, and I realized those are the kind of people I started dating as well, because if I could help them, I felt like, this person that can support them, the empathy in me, great, the support system in me, and all these things. But when the time came for me to get that support, it was never there, and I used to wonder why. But now is when it hit me. There's a trait in me that attracts this kind of people, and I think we have to be very honest with ourselves, ladies and gentlemen who have this mentality, or this savior mentality, or this thing that you think, okay, if you help them out because they're in a tight fix, help them with their rent for this law, so help them to get their feet. Don't get me wrong, you need to support people. That is standard. But there's a way also you can be doing it that people become over dependent on you, and how you'll know it's actually becoming extremely not healthy for you is when you're left zero. In your bank is left zero. Now, and I don't mean, okay, it can be financially, yes, but emotionally, and when they are never there for you, these people, and they will show you. Sometimes they will throw confetti here and there too, and sprinkle some good vibes and all these things to keep you interested and to make you think you're still a priority for them, but they're not. So I am here to beg you to literally reconsider, go back to the drawing board. Do not marry such a person. I will be that bold and say that. Do not get into a business with those people. Do not start a partnership of any kind with these people, because you will be left empty. And I have stated, you only have resources for the giant before you. You can't be slaying other giants for other people. No. It's for you now to recoup. And like businesses do this at the end of every financial year. They look at the assets they have, they look at what was draining their funds, and they readjust. That's how people have been made redundant. Sadly, projects are closed. There's reduction here and there. They used to give you coffee and tea in work, then they tell you, no, we're not going to supply that, bring your own tea and coffee. And some perks disappear when money is tight, or resources are tight. And also sometimes people start off really well because they've figured it out that this, from day one, this is what we're going to provide for you and it won't change. And these other things that you want, we can't provide. And it's good to be that clear. It's never that easy, especially as a human being, as you traverse through this world, as you're learning who you are, as you're learning people. You might not fully understand, your resources sometimes need to be protected because they will deplete. It's like the situation now we have with climate change and all these things. People are endlessly using what we have, and it's not like we can increase water levels again. We depend on the rain, we depend all these things that are not controlled by us, but we use them so badly and we think, oh, we'll survive. And then now when there are issues, like disasters here and there, there's rains during summer that are ridiculous, we're thinking, what's happening? And it's the same thing in our own lives. When you've exhausted your resources, you're using them anyhowly. When you really need them, when disaster hits, you'll be bankrupt. You don't have anything. You don't have any crisis management toolkits. You don't have anything to help you with the floods, with the storm that is in your life. And I am really learning, because an incident happened recently and I was like, okay, this is the end. If you don't figure, if this doesn't hit your head and say, okay, this person will never be there for you, will not be what you think they will be. I don't know what will hit you, what will be more apparently that you need to change your ways with this person. And so as I regroup and change my mindset, because this will take a while, my mindset of supporting people and helping people. And one of the things I am learning, first of all, because people like me and who have this mentality of helping, we're really empathetic at heart. We love supporting people. We love jumping into these projects. Communities are a thing. We thrive from supporting people in the community. But one thing we must learn is not to say yes very quickly. So take a breath, think about it. Sometimes an exciting idea might come. Somebody might ask you to do something, and pause for a while, first of all. Whether you're going to say yes now, immediate, in a 5 years time or whatever, take a time. Because I think sometimes when you reflect on that yes, and you think, do I have the capacity to do this now? Do I have the resources to do this now? Do I have the money to do this now? Do I have the time to do what I'm being asked? Then most likely you will not deplete the resources you have if you have really thought through, because the excitement and adrenaline will just kick you and be like, yes. But when you think about it, in the end, you actually you overcommitted to something, or you agreed to something that honestly you can't see it to the end, or it will stretch you beyond the limits that you have. So one of the things I'm doing now is I'm not saying yes so quickly to things, even the good things. I'm not saying just bad things. I'm saying even the good things, because again, it's human resource, my resource as a person. I need to check, like just the way business always say, we'll get back to you in 2-3 working days to see if we can support you with that or this. Do the same thing, because if we don't do that, we will end up hospital, depressed, dead at the worst case scenario, because it's that serious. It starts small, it starts innocently, and before long you have changed the whole path of what you do, because you want to help people so much, you want to be all these things, and it's never that serious. So let us bring back the reins, and let us not be people who are continuously depleting our resources. Emotional bankruptcy should not be a thing for you. You can't be feeling tired all the time. And I mean, it can be so tiring, even on your physically, on your body. You can feel your shoulders are heavy because you've been carrying this load, and it's time you let it go and put it down, and move into a rhythm that suits you, that works for you, that a rhythm that people will respect, a rhythm that people will say, okay, that one we are going to work with, and we're not going to disrupt what's happening in their life. Okay, so thank you for listening for this episode, and I hope it will help you in your lives, in your businesses, in your relationships with people. See you in the next one.